So what do you do when life happens? You walk into the club, your man's hugged up with another bitch. More bills than dollars, your family's sick. What do you do? We gon' talk about it. This is Blatant Conversations. Ow. I use the truth as my shield, my beliefs as my stance, my mouth as my firearms. I spit realness to sometimes where people have to ask you, where did that shit come from? Because I'm a poet first, a lady second. That's why they call me Blatant Mrs.
Well, you threw me off. Sorry. I'm ready, but I haven't. You performed that shit.
Sorry.
How the fuck do I go after that one?
Because that's going to be my intro. I'm sorry because I forgot the beginning part of the intro.
Can you write mine too? Because guess what? It's the DL, the BK, the NO, the BS. Takes no bullshit on his side. Doesn't really quite match up to all of that lyrical fucking
Okay, so I won't do all of that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you're fucking dope. I get it. Golly.
I hate her.
You just gotta fucking let all the audience know you're so dope. The fucking first episode, though.
This should all be recorded.
You're just showing me out. I thought we were recording.
No, we're not. He
It says on air.
No, we still.
Yeah. We're new to showbiz. We're new to this. The red light on means on air.
On. Okay, that doesn't mean stop.
No,
Nope, we're
follow
figuring
the
this out.
light. Just look at the light. I think you'll be all right.
Yo, what is up though? Yo, it's colder than a motherfucker.
Yo, tell me about it.
You gotta
tell
sing
you no
it.
lie. I'm fucking happy I got that Project Heat now, though.
Yo,
This is that type of weather. Bitches be happy I don't pay for that electric bill.
you can't even touch
included
those
in my rent.
bars in your house.
I'm walking around in booty shorts and a t-shirt
Lord
all
have
winter.
mercy.
Hype as a motherfucker. Starting the car from outside.
Oh,
give it a good 10 minutes.
Nice.
I ain't with it.
Always good
I don't
to
want to
be
experience
warm.
not a liquor freaking cold.
How about we travel? We need to travel.
That's the time to do it.
Yeah, it
this
sure
is
is.
the time to hit up all the Caribbean islands, all the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Right. President Trump said
he.
he met the president of the Virgin Islands. Lord help us.
I wonder who that was.
Anywho.
He meets himself every day in the mirror, I would assume.
He's special. Yeah, so we're gonna get
special.
helmet special.
Oh, man.
Special. Anyway,
Let's tell these people what we're going to talk about. Give them a little bit of an update.
okay, yeah.
I
So
know.
how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? We're really excited because this is our first podcast
First episode.
recording, and we got to start somewhere. It's not where you start; it's where you finish. Get
Talk
it
about
right.
it.
Hashtag.
Not to mention, guys, listen, we've been talking about this podcast. I've been trying to convince somebody to do a podcast with my ass for about a year. No lie. I tried to approach my family. I approached them with this Family Matters idea. They wasn't feeling it. They was just like, yeah, it's not going to work. Too many different schedules. I was talking to my girlfriend like, listen, girls, we always have these productive conversations that I don't feel like enough circles are having. When are we going to start this podcast? You know, all these girls said, yeah, that's a good idea. Go ahead, get it started. My bitch, Miss Blatant Mrs. was the only follow-up. Like, you know what? It took about 2 months, but it came around. It synced in. She said, you know what? We should do it. And she's always been Blatant Mrs. And we present Blatant Conversations.
There we go.
So you got Blatant Mrs., you got D Defines. And, you know, we're just going to talk about it. This is Blatant Conversations.
Right. And it's a podcast that speaks to millennials, older, younger, but it's about conversations that have to be had. If that makes sense.
To be had.
Must be had.
And should be had.
Had. You
You
gotta
get
say it
the
like you in
emphasis?
church. Had.
Yeah. Pause for impact. It's important conversations here, guys.
Very important, yes. Outside of all the joking, there's things that we have to speak about because you think about it, who are the millennials speaking to? They're not speaking to who we were speaking to. So
They're speaking of social media.
right, because there's no Grandma Johnsons out there anymore that see little Ray Ray walking by and say, oh, you better pull up your pants, I'm gonna bust your ass and I go tell your mama. Like, it's none of that.
No.
It's mind your business. They minding their business, and who are they talking? Because they're not talking to us. So who they talking to? Social media. You ain't never lie. They have all the idols on there. They have all the information. People will argue to the death of facts that you find on Google. I'm like, Google doesn't mean it's facts. You have to be careful.
When you look at these teams, it's not to look at, you know, who they're liking their pictures. You look at who they're following and who their followers are, and that tells you a little bit of the life that they're living and the type of things that they want to experience, whether they're there yet or not there yet, but where you can kind of see where the trajectory is headed by looking at that these days. And I think that's what the problem is. Everyone's looking for this microwave help where, you know what, I can go and listen to this person real quick and I can get my life real quick.
Microwave
Let me listen to what this person said, what the word is for that day, and see how it can relate to me. I feel like everyone's so quick to try to gravitate to one thing that they feel like, oh, that was exactly for me. That was the word for me, and continue to feel like everything this person says is, Bible, I would assume.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because they said one good thing, one thing that made a little bit of sense doesn't mean like every single thing that they, state or everything that they go on is right for you.
Is official or for you, exactly.
Or legitimized. I mean, who's to say that people don't just...
Who are you? Some people you just gotta say, who are you?
Right.
That's a good question sometimes.
Especially when it's social media. Keep in mind, people are on the internet. You don't know them. Because they follow you, and you may see them at an event or something.
Say there's something in this, and people buy followers. It's very interesting. They buy followers. They have all this, and you know what? The best thing I saw was, it was like a comedian. I can't even remember exactly what, but he's like, you never turned up like that, and then all of a sudden you on Snapchat, and everybody's all wilding out, and as soon as the Snapchat's finished, you going back to sitting down, and everybody's on their phone. So it's kind of like they present something that's not even real. Some of these aren't even realities. People wake up and they think that they send out this text, bam, everybody's gonna see it.
Yo, just
everybody gonna see it.
And not even just that, but
amazing.
Now the emotional connection that they attach to that.
Yes.
If no one likes it, not enough people likes it. They
people
don't
could
like
go in
me.
Depression.
Keep in mind, they were just on lunch, and everyone on lunch is probably just actually eating based on the time you actually post. When you look at analytics and shit, it's probably, whether it's a weekend, if it was a weekend of an important event, whether it was a holiday, people just got lives to live, and it isn't always about you. I think one great reflection of how society is today is Black Mirror on Netflix. When you look at that first episode in season 3, where they discuss how each person is attached to likes. And basically how a person's livelihood and career can be diminished if they don't have enough likes or if they don't like the right people. Because following one person and having one person not like you with such a large following can bring such a storm to your page. It's just the way that they make these connections. It's definitely worth looking into because it's out of the box thinking that makes so much sense.
It's very
to what's going on today.
And my mother used to say, "Oh, your generation, wow, too much." I say that about the younger generation. And mind you, I'm in my early 30s. early 30s.
That's what I'm talking about, girl.
Early 30s. And I just be like,
not middle age yet.
Not middle age yet.
Because I think they say 35 is like middle age,
Listen, not
I don't know.
middle age.
We're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about that.
Exactly. That's what we're not going to talk about.
But we're going to talk about some adulting and stuff. So just to give you an overview of this podcast in general, things we'll be talking about, it's going to be these conversations, again, that need to be said, that have to be said, have to be spoken about, speaking to millennials, speaking to people of your same age within your generation as far as communicating and helping to build society in general, but also just digging deeper. We want input. We want opinions. We want conversation. We don't want to have the blatant conversations between us. Right. We want you guys to feed in so that we can have the blatant conversation. So whether you hit us on social media, whatever it is, email, and you're like, no, that's not right, blatant, or D-defined, you bugging, then that brings controversy and we can go back and forth, and not even in an argumentative way, but on a break it down.
Informative.
Right.
Let's
break
learn.
Shit down.
Let's learn together. Let's grow together.
Grow together.
I think that's what adulting is about. It's understanding that I don't necessarily have to hang out with everyone who has the same likes and interests as me. I think it's about understanding how we are alike and how we are different and wanting to grow that network of people who do different things and who think differently so that they can check you or, force you to open up your perspective and the way you think about anything and everything.
Right, but be careful about your associations, though. But keep going.
Oh, for sure.
Because that's definitely, you got to throw that in there.
Yeah, definitely. Just be mindful who you call your friends, associates, roots, and family. I feel like things are different. Family's my blood. Roots are people that I've known for a long time that I've chosen to keep in my life. And I'd say my friends I've also chosen to keep in my life, but they're friends because we've, crossed a few different thresholds and boundaries together. Like I've had to check you a few times or vice versa. And an associate is someone who I have really no interaction past a casual, hey, how's it going?
Right. And
doing good? Good to know. I know you have a kid. I might know you are married. So, those casual, basic conversations take place, but it's always above surface conversations. We never go below the surface, and we don't dig deep as an associate. So yeah, just be mindful. You don't have to use my definitions or my terms, but it's a great rubric to start from.
I know that's right. So yeah, we're gonna get these podcasts going, and we have different segments. We're gonna get into the topic, but just as we go through the segments, we'll tell you what it'll be about, what you can expect, how to hit us up, and the whole shebang. So D defines. Tell us, what is our topic for the day?
All right. So what we're gonna talk about today is just a little bit about what can you do when there's nothing that you can do? When you're put in a predicament where there aren't many options for you. You're in a circumstance where whether you're at work or you're in an environment where you're told and dictated information, and either you have to do it exactly the way you're told, or you must listen and
Suck it up.
Just actually you're put in a predicament where there isn't much you can do about the situation. You just either have to suck it up and do it because it's your livelihood at stake.
When life kicks you in the throat, what the fuck do you do? There we go.
If it's a death in your family, if it's a breakup, someone doesn't want to be with you anymore, a friend that doesn't want to be your friend anymore. These are all situations where there really isn't anything you can do because your feelings are attached to some action someone else has placed upon you, okay? Or, something that someone's done to you.
Right.
When you have a boss who's asking you to do something that you feel is so fucking menial and it just doesn't make any sense in the long scheme of things in the way you do your job, and you just have to suck it up and do it. You're with a boyfriend who's not treating you properly.
And God forbid he's taking care of you and you just relax and you never got your way. Like, and there's no way out that very moment. You don't have any family. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So that's what this conversation, that's what this topic is about today. And, what Blatant Mrs. and I are going to attempt to do right now is just let you know some of the things that we do when we're in these predicaments. Some of the things that we've, learned to do to cope with these mechanisms, and some of the advice that we've given our friends in the past in relation to these instances that they might have been in. You want to go ahead and tell me, what do you do when you're in a predicament where there's not much you can do, Miss Blatant Mrs.?
Listen, you know what? Since I was younger, I swear my whole saying was, fuck it. Like on some serious shit. Just fuck it. Sometimes it is what it is. It is what it is. And when getting that attitude, that mindset of saying, you know what? Fuck it. It is what it is. What can I change? That's the most important part. What can I change? And what do I have to accept that I can't change? And whatever I have to accept, how do I go about dealing with it? Because it's really about coping. You know what I mean? It's really about constructive, productive, moshing it up on finding a solution. And if there's no solution, again, here we go to where there's nothing to do. Where are you comfortable settling? You know what I mean? So, my biggest thing is I go with the serenity prayer. Don't have me lying. I don't know it offhand. I'm going to look it up, though. But it's definitely accepting what you can't change and knowing what you can and the wisdom to know the difference. Some people get caught up and, oh, my God, that's like changing a dude. You can't change a dude. You know what I mean? You can't change a female, especially if they're stuck in certain ways. You can influence. You can try to compromise. So when people have that mindset of, oh, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to make this happen. Of course, it's a great motivation to say that, but there's some things you just got to be real with yourself and be like, you know what? Now there's nothing I can do about that. But what I'm going to do to make myself comfortable, or what I'm going to do to be to take a deep breath and be accepting of it, is do this or do that. But again, I think the last string of coping with like traumatic shit would be God, spiritual, trying to find an understanding of why things happen, or and if somebody dies, God forbid, instead of just saying, oh, they're dead, you keep things around you that remind you of them. You walk in a room and you speak to them, you throw on their music, whatever it is to help you get through. You can't change, they can't come back, but you can deal. I think that's the biggest thing, is learning how to deal. And sometimes it's about mindset. Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, it is what it is. Sometimes you got to sit down and say, what can I do and what can I do? And that's really it. That's my thing on life, how I've been dealing, truthfully.
Okay. All right. I appreciate all of those options. And for me, I feel like a lot of what you said is similar. And I'm quick to really face reality and say, well, all right, well, I mean, it may seem, because I am an Aquarius, it may seem as though I'm a little detached with my feelings at times, but I kind of just come to the resolution really quickly. Like, all right, well, it is what it is. Either we're in it or we aren't. Either they're here or they aren't here. So I do come to that realization really quickly, but I do understand everyone doesn't deal with things the same. Everyone doesn't cope with stress the same. But I think the first thing is to know yourself. know what makes you happy. I think too many times you're looking for someone else to either come in and save the day and like really scoop you up and take you out of the situation that you're in. Like you were saying, you really have to go through it and just to understand how you go through things, whether it's you're dealing with coping with a breakup or a death. Just understanding how you have to process. Some people process alone. Some people need to have the presence of a lot of people. Some people need to process alone with the possessions of the lost one. Whatever it is, however it is, I think the first step is to know yourself. And then after you know yourself, you can go ahead and coping it and letting people know how to deal with you and how they can support you and help you. Because that's another thing. There really aren't ways for them to do so if you can't explain that to them.
Very true.
If they don't already know you.
Very, very
so,
true.
Stop assuming people know how to deal with you,
Deal with your dealing.
Right, in a way, just know yourself so that you can know how to express what you need. I think one thing I do a lot is just kind of just sitting quiet. And, it's kind of like a soft meditation where I'm not chanting or anything, but it's just
silence
collective.
Is real.
It's just a collective of just thoughts will really start streaming through your mind, and you don't know what you can come up with or what will spark a thought that might help you to feel better or just to bring out all of the sorrow at one point in time. Sometimes that might be your way of getting through it. So that might work out for someone else. And then maybe it's just to distract yourself. Sometimes, depending on what it is that I'm dealing with, I'll just do something that's distracting, whether it may be for a short period of time, but it might be to just go ahead and put myself in an environment where I'm talking about something completely different from whatever that loss is. Whether I'm involving myself in my bowling league again, or if I'm going with a girlfriend, my girlfriend's out on like an UCA event or something, whatever it is, but just taking my mind off of it where we get to discuss something completely fun and something I'm interested in. So that will be an option too. And my last suggestion would be to just write it out. Sometimes you might just want to journal things that you're going through. That helps a lot of people to receive the clarity that they need. If you don't have someone to go to, a lot of the times you write things out and you go back to it another day, you solve your own problems. So I feel like if one thing or another, you really beating your head over and you really can't come to some sort of resolve, start to write. Just start to write. As much as you write it out, you'll get to
She
that.
talking to the right person because I'm a poet. I'm a writer.
You don't know.
And it started from young.
I can imagine.
I'm bad with the accent. A lot of shit I went through when I was younger.
Jamaican.
And it's, I'm Lord of mercy.
It's okay.
Jamaican. I'm a yardie.
No. She's an American. Let's just say that. As we continue.
So y'all hear my bad accents. I'm so bad. But going through so much things when I was younger, I started writing poetry since I was 12 years old. I'm talking about, and again, as the podcast goes on, you'll get, my whole life is going to be over this mic. You're going to understand my life. You're going to understand D-Defined life, and I hope to understand everyone else's life. And we deal with this adulting together. But writing saved my life, I swear. Writing saved my life of all the problems because you can put it in expressive words, you can put it in a creative manner to help you. And then when you see your work, it's like, wow, like even just reading it, even if it's not a poem, it's just, those are my feelings on paper. I vomited on the paper. And then now what I do, now that I'm a little older, I like to just perform. And, not even perform. I talk to myself, but very expressive. I mean, people say don't answer. I answer. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's considered crazy.
Side note, but just how interesting is that? Through your pain and you having to write, you birthed Blatant Mrs.
Right.
Who now has the ability to blatantly say anything that's on her mind and now perform that. And to go on stage and, to produce an income at one point doing that.
Right, and other people coming to me like, wow, I've been through that, and that's so
go
rich.
Through your pain. If you would have just ignored it, passed it over, did whatever, you don't know how you're changing your own life trajectory.
Yeah, it's
just
real.
a little side note.
Yeah,
sometimes the way my connections work, I have to throw it out as soon as it does come out.
So you'll hear me in my apartment talking, crying, yelling, and I get through it. And one thing with that, it helps is I have different lines of mentality, if I could say. So I'll have a conversation with myself if it goes one way, and then I'll do the what if, and I'll have a conversation another way, and then I'm like, well, what if? And I throw in other factors.
Like a duality of personality within your own mind, kind of?
Right, but it's adding on the what ifs, the hurdles, so I'm prepared. So what if I go to the club and I see my man in there with a female? Ooh, what if I know the bitch? ooh, what if she was an old bitch from the past? Like, I add things so I know my responses and how I would feel. Oh, what if it was somebody from work? Like, so you get the understanding here. We go back to understanding of how you feel about different things, how you deal with different things, and how you would approach different things. And I feel like throwing it out, whether it's in verbally or down on paper, amazing. You hit it right on the nose, D. Right,
do you have a story for me where you was in a situation where something like that had happened, or even a story that you can share with the audience?
Something like what happened?
Anything like this?
Anything of such?
Yeah, anything related to, you were in a predicament where there was nothing that you could do, but you just said shit. It is what it is, kind of.
You know what?
I got one for you when you're done.
I have one.
Oh,
I do have one. Okay, so
tell our audience.
Blatant Mrs. What?
Have I heard this one?
I don't know. Well, you know of it, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
So, my situation was just growing up in my life. And again, I'm not going to get into details and everything.
You'll learn as we grow together.
Exactly. But a little bit of rape, a little bit of homelessness, a little bit of everything going on.
Just throw those heavy-ass topics.
I'm just saying.
Say a little bit of this,
listen in for the rest of the story.
A little bit of salt and pepper. What the fuck?
Said paprika, bitches.
What the hell?
You got to listen in for the rest of the story.
Oh,
so it'll come out with time.
I don't even know if I should be smiling right now. Unfortunately, it should. I feel.
Wait, your mouth going up and down? Are you smiling? Are you frowning, crying? What? Okay. I don't know. So, anyway, but again, I'm smiling through it because you know what? I always say if I never went through what I went through, then I wouldn't be who I am. So I appreciate the process. Always. But I went through all this stuff, and then I went through school, and I have scoliosis, which means my spine was crooked, and I had to get surgery. So they put some metal in my back. So I always call myself like a garage and shit. I have all this hardware in my body. And they told me I wouldn't graduate my nursing program. I had to stay back a year. So I said, no, not doing it. I stayed at home, studied. So here we go. They said there was nothing else to do. I said, no, I'll study and I'll figure it out and take the test. But it gets more. Because I'm going to tell you I will influence somebody, which is so important because you don't know how your pain could be somebody's breakthrough. So I say, no, bump that. I'm going to bump that. Don't go to class. I'm still going to take my test. I'm still going to graduate. I stayed at home and I taught myself everything. The teacher came once a week with homework and I still graduated first in the class.
What?
My essay had 4.0 GPA. Now, this was in high school.
This is an Ivy League school, guys.
No. This was high school, LPN program. Right. I didn't get to I'm going to get to the college part. Okay. So I graduated first in the class and everything, and I got all these scholarships, right? So, going to get into that. Now, they say you can't take your SATs and all this stuff because, you're back and everything. So what I did is I set up my team. Bam. Oh, shout out to Shaniqua Daniels. Rest in peace. That was my homegirl from back in the days. Sorry, just thinking about it. But I had my peoples around me and they walked me through the hallway, literally on each side of me. And I had my pillow in my hand and I said, fuck that. And I went to sit down. I took my SATs and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I got over 100,000 in scholarships. But why did I do that? So someone found my story, beat the odds, and then I ended up on the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Right.
Okay, right. Ended up on the Rosie O'Donnell show because they wanted to publicize.
I was
the super kid in 2002. Martin Luther King weekend. Yeah, they had it playing MTV, Rosie O'Donnell, the whole thing with this documentary. Anyway, we'll go into that more. Listen in. Long story short, though, I keep pushing, and they liked that. Well, not that they liked my story. They felt the story could be helpful. Stories are powerful. I go on, tell my story.
It was just that heartwarming. They had to put it on TV. I'm just saying.
Had to. I had excelled through some pain. So, I put it down creatively, and they gave me a scholarship. Kellogg. Shout out to Kellogg. I still eat y'all cereal. So they gave me a $75,000 scholarship, and they told me they allowed me to stay on NYU campus. Shout out to NYU. So long story short, after all of that, I know I keep saying long story short, I talk a lot.
I know.
But I go home and I get a phone call. Here's the interesting part. Long story long. A girl calls me, and I swore I would always remember her name. I'm so mad. It begins with S. I think it was like Sabrina.
Oh, so she didn't remember it.
No, I didn't. Oh, it was so long ago. 20 years ago. I know. Cut it out. Anyway.
Dating yourself 20 years ago.
Ah, jeez.
It definitely wasn't 20 years ago, though.
Yes, it was? Oh, no, you're right. 17 years ago. Close enough. Anywho.
Alrighty.
Yeah. She said no, it wasn't.
Come to a
I'm adding numbers. Anyway, so she called me. She's like, "Can I speak to Sandra?" And I'm like, "This is her." And she's like, "Oh my God, you don't know me." And she's like, "But I got your phone number out the yellow pages because I had the phone in my name at the time. Mind you, I'm 16." She said, "I don't know you, but I'm telling you right now, I just saw you on the Rosie O'Donnell show. And when I tell you no lie, I'm a single mother. I'm struggling with school. I have 2 jobs. And I was so ready to give up until I saw you on TV." I got tears coming to my eyes.
Oh my gosh, I see.
And she said, "I just want you to know you gave me so much hope to push forward." And she was 21. 21, single mother, child, everything. She was like, she's
2 kids?
No, one child. One child, 2 jobs.
Sorry, that was my judgy self. Sorry.
And if it was, no.
Bye.
So, yeah. So, I mean, and that touched me so much. And mind you, the biggest, it touched me even more because at first, I wasn't going to put my story out there. I was like, no, I don't want to be on TV. Y'all follow me around with, like, this shit is real. Right. Like, I don't want y'all, but no cut and all that.
I deal with this day to day.
Right, I deal with this shit. Like, I'm broke. I ain't got time for this. Like, and the scholarship lady was like, no, really, it'll be very beneficial. So I'm very happy I did that. But I say that to say, you don't know of the story next door. Period. You don't know what someone's going through, and you don't know how you expressing or having these blatant conversations can help someone get through. So that's my story and how I had that encounter. So what about you? Long story long?
I mean, I was trying to find a connection in what you couldn't do because you did what you could do, which is what got you to where you at right now, boo-boo.
Right, well, I couldn't.
You did it.
I did it, but I found a way how. I didn't. Okay, so I was broke. I couldn't go to college. How did I get into? Well, it's not Ivy League, but
it is.
And about you?
Isn't what is it? The top 20?
One of the top, but it's not Yale or whatever.
I feel like
a great prestigious school. I wouldn't have been able to afford that. But
Right.
So what did I do? I wrote.
Right.
And I got scholarships.
Right.
And I went in and I was at the guidance office every day. And I mean, I got over, like, I had so many scholarships here. The little ones. I was on, what is it? Go Fast? Some website where random scholarships. Tell me why you like toast, and you write a story, and they give you $2,500, like everything. So sometimes there's ways to do things, but it was my perseverance that got me through. And again, you know, I couldn't do nothing about my surgery, but what I could do about passing school was say, "Fuck you, take my pillow, blow me 3 times. I'm gonna sit at home and watch this."
Right. I think it was more, just, the courage, the perseverance that you had that got you through because you knew you weren't going to you were taking this freaking SAT.
Right. So
you were going to go to school.
Some hurdles are in barricades.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Let's see. What do I do when there's nothing I can do? All right, well, let's talk about the one time I was ever fired.
One time?
Because I couldn't do anything.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm just like,
Really? Yeah. Wait, you know something I don't know?
Well.
Am I fired from my job now?
Your ID doesn't work anymore.
Oh, that's all funny.
So when you got fired.
There wasn't shit I could do about that shit. I mean, all right, so basically, I started working for a company. It was actually, you initially go to school, you get these degrees with the intent to work in, your dream job, your field of choice, because you went to school for this, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I'm working in my field of choice. I say that in quotations because at the time, I didn't realize that wasn't really the best choice for me. But anyhow, I'm working in my field of choice. It's in advertising. And I'm going to this company. I started the company 3 months before my birthday, right? So it's fucking winter. I told you I'm an Aquarius. My birthday's February 11th. So I started with the company sometime towards the end of November. So from the end of November up until February, and if you guys don't know, I'll get sick in the wintertime pretty quickly once the room temperature changes. Once it fluctuates pretty quick, I'll get sick. So if I shower in the morning, I shower at night. But if I shower in the morning and I come out and the window's open or it's cracked and that breeze comes through my chest, I'm hella sick for like a good week or two.
Oh my goodness.
So I caught the flu at least 2 fucking times, probably a case of bronchitis. Anyway, I fucking happened to be absent like a good 7 freaking times from the damn job. From this 3 month probationary period that you're always on when you start a new company, right? Could you believe these fuckers fired me on my birthday?
Was this in the first 3 months?
In the first 3 months.
You have some nerve to be calling them fuckers.
They're fuckers because I came to work sick and them motherfuckers sent me home.
Oh, okay.
So they sent me home on 2 separate occasions. I came.
Right.
You sent me home. Is it my fault? I'm trying here, even though I am sick. I'm trying.
So what did you do?
What the fuck could I do? Take my shit in the box that they already packed and keep it moving on my birthday and enjoy the rest of my birthday with no job.
So you went to go get
But
another
it was my
job?
birthday. No, fuck out of here. It was my birthday. I enjoyed my birthday. And, told every bar that I went to, it's my birthday.
Oh, you remember that? You remember that
drink.
issue. You don't want to visit that again.
They do say shots are good for a cold. So, I think that's one remedy from the Caribbean that I always stick to.
No, I'm bringing up that time we was in, where was it? In IHOP, and you kept doing that, it's my birthday shit. In California, we went to Hollywood.
Why is she talking about old shit?
She was like, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. You know what this guy, the IHOP waiter got the whole IHOP to sing happy birthday to that bitch. That bitch ain't want to be her birthday no more.
Happy birthday at IHOP.
It doesn't. Happy birthday.
They don't even do that. They just made up a dance. They made up a song. How about I took somebody to fucking Ruth Chris and I tried to get them to sing happy birthday. They was like, we don't do that, miss. I said, but I really want to embarrass him.
Oh my goodness. No, that is embarrassing. They bring that little cake and
we're in the family
clapping
section. I'm like, they could have did it. Anyway.
It's crazy. Yeah. So
that's my little story. I couldn't do anything about it. I looked hella cute because it was my birthday. So I just went out and had a good ass time and said, fuck this job. I'm not supposed to be in this field. And guess what? I've been working for myself ever since.
I know that's right.
So it worked for me.
That's it.
I'm not saying it worked for you. I have a plan in place because I've always had a few different hustles in place.
Right.
That's one thing. But I think that was, the catalyst for the career and the career that I do now. And, the life trajectory that I am on.
Oh, so in conclusion, we can say preparation and perseverance are some things that can get you through.
That is so
definitely.
True. Yeah.
Because even just a little quick story, my son's grandmother, who passed, rest in peace, she died of cancer, and watching that, you're helpless. You can't do anything. What can you do? So we really just, myself and her kids and the family, just try to make her comfortable, give the memories, preparing for life, for things, preparing for her death, but preparing for the life after. So again, preparation, perseverance, prayer. Booyaka.
And no regrets.
There goes the Jamaican in me. Booyaka.
But anyway, no regrets. Just having everything set out and laid out on the table that you want to say to anyone and everyone that's going through it also. I think, open honesty is always the best policy in everything you do.
I agree.
Everything.
I agree.
And own your shit. When you fuck up, say I fucked up.
That's it.
I think too many people these days. Did you hear recently? With the fucking P. Diddy, he changed his name.
I can't.
And then he changed his name to Brother Love.
Stop.
And then the fucking Brother Love from the WCW or WWF or whatever, he's like, well, he's kind of still using the name, but not so much because he just does the podcast, but his podcast is hella popular.
And then he was drunk or something?
But then he comes out and says, I was just joking. You guys can't take a joke. Do you think he was joking, though? I think that's the lane you want to go down only because you see that people aren't gravitating to the name anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, okay, so it's not so popular, forget it. But had everyone ran with it, they'd be like, oh, yeah, so he's now Brother Love. Or B-Love, whatever the freaking dumbass shit that he was coming up with.
I'm so done with that conversation.
I'm like, everyone's just looking for a popular opinion. I think that in itself, that trend needs to stop. Have these blatant conversations. Let people know when you think they're whack, whether
don't
they
be
actually
a yes
are
man
or they
or
aren't.
yes bitch. I'm telling
and real
you.
talk, tell people they fly when they fly. Whether they are or they aren't. I'm just saying.
Right, give props where props deserve.
Always.
But you have to, on your team, you have to have a Papa Bubble bitch. Period. There's people that just be in La La Land.
I stay with a few of them in my crew.
And yes, some of them are just yes ma'am.
No,
yes, that looks great. Yes. Sound like a yes. You can make a whole song out of this shit. No. You know what, bitch? You need to take that off. Not working. Somebody, and you might get upset. You might feel away, but that's your check-in, bitch. That's the bitch that's gonna have you out in the club looking stupid with the yes. No, nope, not gonna work. Pop. You see that bubble over you? Pop. Done. Party done.
Or not even just that, but like that girlfriend who keeps calling you about the same problems that she's having in relationships. It's kind of like, so what you gonna do about it? Because we had this conversation last week. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna make a change? Are you gonna try something new?
I'm not gonna coddle you. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not gonna be okay. He done cheated 5 times. What you gonna do?
Right? You waiting for the 6th time? Do you want to be pregnant when you get the 6th?
Do you got a job so you can get out? No. Okay.
It's putting yourself in a predicament to have the conversations. Even if you don't necessarily, I find that with, let's just say minorities, we don't necessarily like speaking to whether it's family or anyone close to our lives because they actually have a great view on our actual lives. So with that being said, it's like it's hard to say what you want to say when you know that they can see already that what you're going through. So I think it might be a lot easier for people to say, you know what, I'd rather talk to a therapist. But then that stigma of seeing a therapist is so shunned in the Caribbean
or the money
culture.
just to talk. Sometimes it's like
it's
man, got it.
Not worth it, or it's not even that it's not worth it for the person who's going through it.
Right.
They may feel it's not worth it because they don't feel like they're really going through much, you know, or it isn't something that everyone isn't going through. So there's no need for me to have to speak to someone about it. So I think that stigma needs to be thrown away, and just having the ability to talk to your girlfriend, your friend, as long as they're real. You know, I think it doesn't take much to find out if someone's really there for you in your best interest or not. And once you have that real person or that real family member that's looking out for you, use them by having the conversations, you know, bouncing ideas off of them, piggybacking off of ideas that you want to move.
Not someone that gets off with your unhappiness. There's some people that get off and they're like,
so right
yes. Because it's kind of like, if you're down, that means I'm up even if I didn't move. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't gotta move.
It automatically boosts their ego to know that someone else is going through worse shit.
I can't, yeah.
Those are the people those are toxic. Those are the people that are toxic and are only going to create toxic negativity.
This is why some people don't have those conversations, because quote unquote some of these quote unquote friends are judgmental.
Or are you that person? Check yourself and know if you're that person.
Very true.
If you're that one that doesn't get the calls to go anywhere, you're that one that's always kind of isolated.
All your friends are coming to tell you to gossip about your other friends. Why are they telling you? Why they feel so comfortable? Sometimes you need to check yourself.
You have to
I get it.
Look in the mirror. It's the man or woman in the mirror sometimes that need to check themselves.
In the mirror.
If the predicament was the other way around, would you be offering up the same advice?
Yeah. And do you give a lot of advice to your friends that you don't take? Like, so it goes, again, this goes into being prepared, like focusing on and understanding yourself. See, we coming right back to it. God,
you know, I'm reading this book, one of the many freaking books. I'm reading this book called Maturity by Osho. And in this book, he discusses age in terms of it being on the horizontal. You know, people who consider age don't really look at life if they're just looking at, oh, I'm going to be another year the next year, or I'm going to be another year the next year. They're not really experiencing life. But the person who looks at life on a vertical scale are experiencing more because they're looking at life based off of experiences. So if I could tell you that I'm, say, 153, it's not my actual age, but it's based on the experiences that I've gone through. Yeah. So it forces you to kind of really absorb and take into account everything that you go through, because there's a learning curve there. Whether it's something that you've gone through a few different times, but there's something to take from it.
Right.
You know, so it's a way of, I guess for me, how I took it is viewing everything as it's the way it's supposed to be, and working hard at what you're looking for, but embracing every challenge as it comes your way, because there's something in that challenge that is necessary.
Right.
You know, if I didn't go through financial struggles in my past, there's no way that I'll be able to maintain $1 million when it's given to me.
Exactly.
You understand? I'll know what to do with it now. Because at a young age, I was given lots of money and really just squandered it.
Right.
Didn't do much with it.
Mentality.
Right. But give me that same amount now, I'll know what to do with it. So I feel like it's just living in your experiences instead of constantly dwelling on it or pointing the finger, pointing the blame,
or
looking to pass it over onto someone else.
Oh, my. Right.
And that's what I feel like I've taken from his idea of the horizontal and the vertical life experiences in the book. There's a lot of, I guess, reflections that the book will give you. And for me, that was just one of them. I just recommend anyone go out and take a look at it. I recommend anyone go out and read a book that you would never see yourself reading. If you're the kind of person who's never watched a Western, go out and buy a book that's about a Western. Go out and do something that you wouldn't normally find yourself doing. I think that everyone can gain from an experience that they wouldn't normally see themselves in, and see how much they would gain from that. And that would in turn give them more I guess, life points, or they'll understand a little bit more about what this life adulting thing is like.
Right.
I think the more I step out of my comfort zone, the more I realize, oh, this is more of what adulting is like.
Adulting is real, y'all.
It is.
I wasn't ready for this.
Oh. They need a course in class. I mean, what the fuck was home ec? What was the point of that? I'm sorry. We're in New York. There was never a home ec. But I know that in the Midwest, some places, they had classes like that.
There was a home ec.
I never had home ec.
In
Girl, I
Staten
went
Island.
to Birchwood.
I'm from
You know
Staten
what?
Island.
From Staten Island.
My bad.
I don't know why you still claim that lost borough.
Because it's the
It's
lost
coming
borough.
back. They have a Ferris wheel. A Ferris wheel.
They don't have a Ferris wheel yet.
Oh, it's not even there yet.
Not sure it's not there yet.
Nobody knows. Nobody goes.
No, the project got stopped because, here we go with, people trying to finagle stuff. It's all, it's too much. Who knows? Who cares?
All this bigger picture that's behind the veil.
All that stuff. I just born and raised, I'm not Wu-Tang for life. There we go.
You silly. Where the hell did this rat come from? Hella random. What the fuck?
Because Wu-Tang Staten Island. That's how
I guess let's give a shout out to Dre.
Yes.
Because that's how we can make the connection.
There we go. Yes.
Make the connection. Let's
Our
do
graphic artist, he actually, he draws a lot for
shout out his Instagram page.
Wu-Tang stuff. He does the Raekwon, the whole graphics for Raekwon, like ravioli.
He redoes the logos and all different styles.
Yes.
He throws his swag on it, which is super fly.
He recently went to another country. They brought him over for the whole Wu-Tang exhibition and things, and his art was there, so amazing. So shout out to Dre Ali. He made our logo, Blatant Conversations. I've been dealing with Dre for a while, even for the Love of Poetry. That's a poetry company. Me and my partner for over 10 years doing shows down in Times Square. And now this is going to be a platform for some of that poetry. Y'all will hear some. And when we have shows and stuff like that, we'll get it popping and y'all will know. But T-shirts, business cards, pens, anything. He'll draw graffiti. He's everything. He's a very artistic. You catch him down in the city sometimes at the art exhibitions and things like that.
Can we spell out his IG, please? Because that's kind of all I was looking for.
Oh.
We just gave him a free commercial.
I done gave him
We're going to need some free artwork. Let's say that.
That
we're going to need a few more artwork. We got some things in mind that we want to get printed up. I mean, I'm sure you don't want our faces on things just yet. We'll wait for a few more episodes to be released before we throw our faces on some more things that you guys might want in the near future.
So that's Noble, NOBLE _DRE _ALI. Noble Dre Ali.
Awesome. Great plug.
So check out his page on IG.
Yeah, super creative, super dope. I love everyone who comes up with these creative IG pages. I mean, if I had the freaking time, I'd probably come up with a few more because I have so many ideas. But definitely check out our Blatant Conversations at Gmail. Our email is there so that you can send us any stories, questions, topics that you want us to review. If you like our opinion on things, if you have any suggestions or corrections. I mean, neither of us claim to be the best in English. Neither of us claim to speak grammatically correct.
I need soap in my mouth sometimes. I'm sorry. I can't.
We're comfortable in this setting, and we're going to speak to you in a comfortable setting. So we hope that you bring the positive energy and any comments, questions.
And the real energy.
Yeah, we definitely
bullshit on the side.
Fakeness. We don't do
Go
that.
back to DL and the BK, the
if
Brooklyn
you got some
Bread.
constructive criticism, send it our way. That's cool.
Yeah, let us know something you went
about
through. When you hit something you thought
you were
was
in a predicament.
right.
There was nothing that you could do. Whether you were fired, someone just walked out on you, you came home and you were robbed, like someone robbed you.
Or
whatever.
your boss is racist, but you need the job. Like, how do you go about dealing with? So, throw us our tactics. We trying to get through this adulting thing together. I actually have a meme that's on the IG page about adulting, and it's this little boy sliding, and his face is in there's four different frames, and it goes dramatic. The face is amazing, and he's just like screaming. But it's basically that's how we're sliding into adulthood. We doing this together. We haven't perfected. This is our first time adulting. Guess what? We only have one chance to adult.
That's
so
right.
we try to get things right, but again, listen, if we can help each other, that's what this is all about. And so that's our topic for the day. You have our webpage. You want to give them the Twitter?
So our Twitter handle is Blatant Combos at Twitter. You can go ahead and follow us in our conversations daily. Any topics that you feel like you want to introduce, feel free to email that to us. Any conversations that we're currently having will be posted on our IG and our Twitter pages. And look forward to our YouTube page. We'll be coming to you soon with some actual uploads. We'll upload a copy of the meme of the day, And any topics that we might have covered, we'll also upload any links to those and any memes, maybe comments, questions that we discussed throughout the actual episode. We'll post
some
them
parodies,
on our YouTube page.
some monologues.
Maybe
there's
going to
be a bunch of things
during that day, that episode.
Some drunken conversation.
We have those way too often to be posting them daily, girl.
Oh, y'all don't know I'm a mess. This is for your message. Y'all gonna have to figure this out.
Oh yeah, it's defines. I tend to always like to clarify, define things, make sure everyone's real clear on what's being done, what's being said, what's being understood. So I think that's where that name just rang a bell for me.
Yeah, me, I'm either a bitch or I'm very sweet. It's
whatever. She's never
There's
a bitch.
no right, and never until I get on stage. Otherwise, I'm very
And that's a professional bitch.
Right.
God, we love professional bitches. They call them divas.
But I'm not a middle person. I'm just like I feel away. I'm either happy or I'm sad. Like it's no middle. I'm bouncing or I'm crying. And the middle is kind of like, what do I do?
The only time you will see a bad blatant is when she's hungry.
Ooh.
I think that's the only time. Any and everyone can get it.
They know it at my job.
Fire.
Anywhere. I went to the...
She's hungry. She's the epitome of a hangry person.
I did the Spartan race.
She missed a flight because she was hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Reschedule that. Yeah. A bitch can't be hungry on a flight. We're not doing that.
How about that? I think that's a testament to what I mean.
I walk around work, I'm like, sugar low. They be like, ooh, I'll watch your patients. Go do what you have to do. Because I will flip. Otherwise, I'm a very happy, uppity person. Because you know what? Shit is real. Life is real. And I don't stop to ponder on the bullshit and the stress. And I've realized working in the healthcare field, working in nursing and stuff, life is real. And you only have one. So I live it to the fullest. And I hope y'all do too. And I hope y'all live these conversations with us through this mic.
Do we have a hamster wheel? Do we have one before we close out?
Oh, hamster wheel. So a hamster wheel, tell them what it is.
All right. So a hamster wheel is an ongoing conversation. It's actually a conversation that comes to no resolution. We're going to keep talking about it because we really haven't come to any type of resolve. There really isn't a right or wrong answer. There's no way to come to an end. It's a hamster wheel. We're going to constantly ride on it. So I'm wondering, do you happen to have one for us?
Let's see. I
think the conversation today in itself is like, what do you do when there's nothing you can do? It's a hamster wheel in itself.
It sure is a hamster wheel. You know what? That is very true.
That one person can do to get rid of all of their anxiety, fears at one particular
And then when you find some solution, it's not the full solution.
And it might not be the solution for everyone.
Right, and then there's a different turnout, and then it goes back around the cycle. So that's definitely a hamster wheel. But I know one we had spoke about, and we'll throw out there, and we want to hear your comments, because we're gonna end this podcast and everything. But just to go into, here's a hamster wheel for you. If you would know that this is life. And when I say this is life, not specifically, this happens or that happens, but life. You know that you live, you die, people die in between, there's memories, you can get sick, you can go through this, finances, whatever it is, all the shit that's going on, you just watch it from above. Would you want to come down into this life? Or would you say, nah, I know how life is, I don't want to experience that?
But keep in mind, not experiencing it just means you're a spectator. You're forever watching it.
Right.
You're watching it take place in front of you. Could you be a spectator alone of your own life? Or do you want to be the one living it? I'm going to live it because at the end of the day, I get no fucking entertainment and just watching shit happen in front of me. Why not live it? I'm going to go through it. Happiness, sadness. But once again, I'm a little bit light on my emotions too. So I don't mind falling in love over and over again, getting hurt over and over again.
Well, I'm not light on my emotions, but pain makes me feel alive. Like, shit makes you feel alive. Like, because that's when you know it's life. It's real. And it is what it is. So
feeling it, going through it.
Yeah.
Well, that's our hamster wheel for the week. Let us know what you think of the first episode. Let us know what you think of this hamster wheel topic. Let's keep the conversation going. And any questions, comments,
hit us up. Because we going to talk about it. This is Blatant Conversations. Gotta be said, say it now, no hesitation.
Gotta stay focused for the next generation. We going to talk about it.
This is Blatant Conversations. Later, y'all. Blatant Misses.
Deuces.